It's the PokerNews Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1000 of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at Poker Go Studio in Las Vegas with Mike Holtz and Ben Ludlow in front of a live studio audience. We've got a special episode. We're going to talk to some of the WSOP final tablists. Greg Mueller is in the house. Gags is in the house. We're going to talk to somebody who's been there before. Jeremy Ausmus is here and going to join us. And then a lot of the former hosts through the 1,000 episodes have made the trip. They're here. We're going to catch up with them. But Ben, Mike, we've been talking about this for a while. Episode 1,000.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone, when I tell them it's the 1,000th episode, it's like, you've been doing this for 1,000 episodes? Nah, just about 80, but it's pretty cool. I mean, looking out here, seeing Jeff Platt, Sarah Herring, Kyna, Jeff Madsen. A lot of people have done this podcast over the last, 15 years?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And I first worked for Chad 15 years ago in 2011, probably around the same time this started. So if you had told me 15 years ago I'd be doing a podcast right here, would not have believed you, but it's pretty cool.
And Mike, you came on board episode 819. So for those who don't know, just real quick context, this used to be audio only. There's been some video episodes in the past, but it wasn't until episode 819 when my boss and good friend who's in the audience, I want to shout him out, Yori Epskamp, asked me at a point in my career where I wasn't feeling very fulfilled, what was it that I enjoyed about poker? And it was the podcast. This was something I had kept alive after Sarah had departed and became the caretaker. And he said, all right, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. And all of a sudden we got a budget. We found a studio in Las Vegas and been doing almost 200 episodes as is. And Mike was a big part of that. I put together a list of people who I thought, I would love to have on a show like this, and Kyna, who we'll talk to later, is in the audience. She was on that list, and so was Mike. They were both right at the top, no exaggeration, and both said yes. So Mike, thank you for being on this ride with me.
Yeah, you guys are fucking welcome. No, thank you guys. And yeah, no, this is insane. Like looking out and seeing everybody in the audience, friends, family, fans, etc., industry peers, like this is nuts for me. So yeah, couldn't be happier. Crazy to do it with this crew. I mean, we've been rocking it for, 100 and, what's the math? 81 episodes now?
That's
right. There you go. Wow. That's
hot odds, I guess.
Yeah, hey, I should play poker. No, this is crazy. And surprising, you guys were like, we're going to go to video. You know who would look great on video? Michael. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, I'm glad we did this together, guys.
And for those who don't know, Mike won a World Series of Poker Go bracelet this summer. So yeah, I got
It's no WPT championship, but it's pretty good,
Well, let's get our first guest up here. We're very fortunate that we're recording this the day before the WSOP main event final table kicks off. And we were going to have Lucas Jumelan, the chip leader, who unfortunately is not feeling the greatest, I understand, so he's not here. But we have a couple others, and I'm going to start with FBT, Greg Mueller himself, if he would be kind enough to come up here. And I got a little microphone for you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Good to see you, buddy.
Savage. Him and Mike went to the same,
Yeah, no,
places.
I think he looks great, Matt Savage, you dickhead.
Those slides cost more than all of our other outfits combined, so it's all right.
It's worth mentioning Matt Savage is arguably the most loyal Poker News Podcast listener. I think he has literally listened to all 1,000 episodes.
Thank you, Matt.
So, Greg, tell us, it's been a couple weeks since you've made the final table. What's life been like? I've seen some videos online. You've been hitting the gym.
Yeah, it's been pretty, it's been quite the whirlwind, not gonna lie. All the emotions, my trainer basically moved in with me and cleared out my junk food cabinet and put me to the grind twice a day, and feeling a little bit better and a little more rested and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Is there any nerves? I mean, you've been on the stage before, not necessarily the main event stage, but you've played for bracelets, you've won bracelets. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to say if I don't have any nerves. I mean, it's this one's a little different. I have all the emotions, excitement and happy and a bit nervous, and the support has been unreal. And I think that's the biggest thing to take away from it, that regardless of what happens, life is pretty good.
I met some of your buddies who were here to support you. Some said, only like 30 years. Played poker, long before you were in the big stage and stuff. Must be cool to have their support.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork, like just whether they're high school friends or poker buddies that
or need to borrow some money because
no, actually has been not one person yet. So
well, they want to see how you finish first, and then
yeah.
how much to ask.
Yeah,
for.
$1 million they won't bug me.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and have you done, I know you as, we'll say, an old school player, right? You've been around for a little while, so you don't envision, I don't envision you as in the solver streets, if you will. Has there been any getting in the solver streets, a lot of studying, or has it been more preparing yourself physically and mentally, in that regard?
Well, definitely preparing myself physically. I won't really talk too much about the solver situation.
Yeah, don't give away all your strategies.
Or what I haven't been doing, but I'm happy to share the physical preparation that I did.
So which one were you more excited for? The Poker News Podcast episode 1000 or the main event final table?
Do you want truthfulness?
No, we want lies. We want lies.
And then in all seriousness, Shadow, the hat. I've seen you wear it a bunch. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I recently started to golf, and I almost went bankrupt golfing with Matt Savage because he, for those of you that don't know, he never seems to lose on the course no matter where we're playing or what his handicap is. But Shadow is Shadow Creek, and it's the golf course here in Vegas that's quite cheap to play. And it's one of my, I'm fortunate enough to get out there a couple times a summer, and I just love the hats. And then one day, Nacho Barbero was like, the Shadow, what's going on? And Matt Glantz, Shadow. Paul Volpe, hey, Shadow, what's going on? I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep wearing the Shadow hats. It's fun. It represents the course that I like. And
one of the things that you talked about before making the final table, right when you did, and it resonated with me, was how prior to your main event run, you might have lost a little passion for the game, or you know what I'm talking about, the kind of story you shared. It resonated with me as somebody who's went through those kind of ups and downs. But it seemed like as you were making your run, it reinvigorated something in you, and you leaned into that. I don't know, it was a very emotional interview. I remember. I think you did it with the ESPN.
Yeah, you get older and you spend a lot of time at the card table, and I just realized that I'd rather lose to Savage on the golf course than be sitting at the table for 8 hours playing poker. No, truthfully, and it's a grind. Whether you're grinding the cash games, it takes a lot out of your body. You're sitting. I like to be active. I like to move, and you sit down at the cash game or the tournament. It's like 12 hours. You stand up, your whole body's like squeaking, like it's, So I just kind of. And when you lose the path, I used to, when I first started getting into poker, I'd drop the suitcases off and I wouldn't open them for 3 days. I'd be just so jacked to go play and maybe fish out a new pair of underwear and a crumpled t-shirt and go back and play. And my clothes just stayed in I was so excited to play, right? And, but now it's the opposite. I'll just see 1,000 people in the room and I'll be like, oh my goodness, what can I get my chips all in here for? I just don't kind of lose the passion. But yeah, like Chad said, this run it's fun. I'll be honest, it's quite fun, but obviously every run's not like this. So yeah.
Did you physically and mentally kind of feel ready during this run? You said that it's been tougher over the years, you get older, et cetera, but as you made day 5, day 6, were you feeling exhausted, or did you kind of get jacked up, adrenaline?
Yeah, I would say the latter. Like I said earlier, I've kind of shared the story about how, Bucky and I got into it a little bit just with, he's a good friend and he was giving me the tough love, and he's just like, listen, if it's totally cool. I know you can play, but if you don't want to, why bother, kind of, right? And, we kind of got back and forth and a little bit, and then I just told him, okay, I'm gonna try and give it my all, kind of this particular run and whatever. Obviously you're getting lucky and all that, but day 5 and day 6, and he was like, I'll come and sweat you and stop playing the tournaments. Just promise me one thing: you're gonna care. You're not gonna go, I got short, whatever. I'll go play golf, or I'll go, go for a dinner or whatever. Just if you make a bluff and you lose, or you run into a better hand, that's poker, no problem. But just make sure you give it your all and prepare, get some sleep, and take it seriously. And I said, you got it.
I feel like a theme this summer has been very much a lot of guys and girls who are close to the end of their career or thinking about making a change, and then all of a sudden it kind of just hits at once. So if you're listening out there, just know that you got to be like, tell the universe you're going to quit, and then it's all going to happen.
Lucas Jumelan said at 22, it's been a hard grind.
It's been a grind.
He almost quit. It was too much.
It was too much. It's been 6 months without $1 million score. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just like whether it's, haven't made a final table in a while. It's not really, I mean, this is insane. But like, even if I was winning when I'm winning in the cash games or whatever, it just still kind of just became mundane a little bit, and just been doing it for a while and kind of just going through the motions, right? And it doesn't matter what you do. Yeah. If you aren't passionate about it and you're not giving your all, you're not going to have success. You're not going to enjoy it, and that sort of thing.
And I feel like it's very easy too, despite how much work you might put in, despite how much you want it. Like if you're not having success, doubts come and kind of disinterest comes. The people who can go and work their asses off and not have success and still show up every day, that ain't me. So
well, this industry in particular is, it's really can be such highs and lows, and so people that can master that don't get too high and don't get too low obviously have the most success, because 1 minute you're walking on water, you're the best player in history, and the next minute you're just terrible, and you're the same player, but it's just the variance is insane, right?
Yeah, Mike doesn't get too high.
No, not at all. Never have.
Well, Greg, I appreciate you taking the time to come over for this special episode. Wish you luck this week, and I know you've got your fair share of people supporting you, and best of luck.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, I want to bring up somebody who has. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Somebody who's been there before. Very well known in the poker space, Jeremy Ausmus. I don't know where he's at this exact moment. There he is. He's in the back. Come on up here if you want. Yeah. This is exciting. I don't think I've never had Jeremy on the podcast before. I don't know if he's been on any of the early episodes, but thank you for taking the time, my friend.
What's up, you scumbag?
I'll give you that.
All right.
All right. Well, you spend a lot of time here at Poker Go Studio, so this is nothing new for you.
It's my home away from home, so that's why it felt easy to come down here and enjoy it.
Yeah, the final table's usually right here. You're usually right there. It's easy, comfortable.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell me, we're talking about the WSOP main event final table. You've been there before.
Yes.
What's that experience like? Can you relate to these guys? Any advice for them? That sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time for me, but it was definitely my most memorable poker memory and experience I've ever had. And I remember making that final table, and it's just like you're in another world making it. And then we had the long break in my day, so we had 3 months off. These guys have 3 weeks a month, 2 weeks off. So it's a lot different because and when I made it, people would come back as kind of different players, or there was always that possibility. Now that's less likely to happen. But I don't know. Me coming into it, I didn't have a lot of pressure. I was the shortest stack. I still had 28 big blinds or something. So I feel like the guy who's got the chip lead, that's where the pressure builds up, and especially when there's a wait of even a couple of weeks, that can kind of might affect people a little bit.
So much pressure, you might not even show up to the 1,000th episode of the PokerNews Podcast.
Exactly.
He's sitting there meditating. He'll be
exactly.
Do you, looking back on it now, I mean, we've gone through a few iterations of the main where it's been 2 days after they make the final table, they play the day after, 3 months, 2 weeks. Looking back, what do you think? If you could go back again, would you have done the 3? If you could pick 3 months, 2 weeks?
I didn't want to do the 3 months because I felt at the time my game was needed the least amount of work besides Greg and Jesse probably, right? We were the regular players all the time, whereas a lot of people could improve quite a bit. So, and also it's I don't really believe in momentum and all that stuff that much, but it's just the spirit of the tournament is kind of right then and there, right? You make the final table, you jump in and play, maybe it's the next day. So to take, for those reasons, I don't like the hiatus there, but it also allows you to maybe get sponsorship money and prepare and kind of build the main event. So I thought that was cool. And I think what they're doing now is kind of a good happy medium for it all,
Bit of a sweet spot where you have enough time to get your friends and family in town, but not so much time that you show up a transformed person in 3 months in the solver,
Exactly, yeah.
Do you feel like, you were obviously a crusher online, high stakes cash before the main event. Did the main event final table kind of do you feel like it launched you into a different piece of your career? Was that like an inflection point in your mind?
A little bit. So back then there was no high roller tournaments really, right? I don't know when the first 100K was, maybe 13, 14, 15, but there was like one a year.
Yeah, there's like one or two a year. Now there's...
And then I was playing the biggest games in Vegas day in and day out, the 10-20, 25-50, no limit already. So what it did allow me to do is go lose some money in mixed games and get my feet wet to actually Greg Mueller himself. That's when I first came across Greg, is I would go start the game with JRB, the Aria, like 300, 600 or 400, 800 game every day. So I always loved mixed, and I was playing a lot towards the end of right before Black Friday. So that allowed me to kind of get a lot more experience in those streets. But other than that, it didn't really change a lot because I was already rolled for all the tournaments that were available at the time, and I didn't even play a lot of tournaments then. I mainly played cash, so I just kind of still would just go clock in at my 10-20 Bellagio game for the next few years until cash kind of changed its course and died out for me anyways in 2018 or something.
I feel like I always use you as the example. We've talked to Justin Young in our apartment about private games in Vegas and sort of the cash game economy, and you're someone who sort of got priced out of cash games, if you will. Like there was no game you could get into anymore, so got to go play high roller tournaments now. Exactly. It was an option if I wanted to go that route, but you have to kind of turn into a hustler, sort of. Like it's all about connections and building a game, and that's really not the politics part of poker is not. Exactly. And all those people fought those games forever. And then eventually, if you're going to keep playing cash in Vegas at meaningful stakes, you have to kind of join them and make that part of your repertoire. So those guys started their game, which they're very public about. Chris Johnson, some other guys started theirs. Brian Oaken's got his Venetian game. So private games are everywhere now, So yeah, it's just like a faded memory for me, cash games.
One question I want to ask you, because we're going to find the answer to this very shortly, within the next 24 hours as we're recording this, I'm sure, is the Poker Hall of Fame and the results of that. I know when the nominations came out, a lot of people felt that there was a snub, and it was you and even Matt Savage as well over there. And but just curious, from the outside looking in, if you have anybody that is nominated that you think should get in or you'd like to see get in, kind of your picks. Well,
I made a video on my vlog, by the way. Check out my vlog if you haven't checked it out. I'm starting to turn into a shameless salesman, but
where do we find it? If we were to find it, where would you?
It's on YouTube, Jeremy Ausmus Poker. It'll pop right up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Some people went to private cash games. Other people went to influencing. So, what the hell was the question?
Poker Hall of Fame.
Oh, Poker Hall of Fame. I made a video about it on YouTube, and my number one pick is Jason Kuhn. And then I also mentioned Ike and those were kind of the two main ones I thought should get in. Sean Deeb, I thought maybe wasn't quite as deserving as them, and then Sean Deeb won a bracelet and then almost final table of the main. So, Sean's amazing. I didn't want to take anything away from his skills or anything like that, but he is a more focused on. He doesn't just grind the tournament scene all year long or high stakes cash. I guess he gets into some of the stream games, but he's not out there in the nosebleed stuff. So I respect someone like Jason. He goes anywhere in the world, wherever the highest stakes are, and literally takes on anybody in the world. And he's done it for years, and he's crushed everybody. So that's who I think should be there. He's kind of done it all. And so, yeah, that was kind of my pick. I don't know, who hard to say what the existing Hall of Fame members think, but it's hard to say Jason isn't deserving. And if he doesn't get in soon, this year, he'll be in very, very soon, I think.
Before we let you go, this is a question I've asked guests in recent episodes. So I'll ask you, who do you think is going to win the WSOP main event this year?
Well, I don't really know any of them besides Greg Mueller and Gags, Gagliano.
Who we're going to have on in just a second.
I know him. I don't really know him. I know him online. I know him online a little bit.
Behind the tall guy.
I think we've maybe talked a little bit, maybe once or twice.
Say hi. He's right there.
But yeah. But I know he's very.
Love your schedule.
I know he's very respected. I think he's like a New Jersey guy and has been a crusher in the cash games for a long time. So I think he's got a good shot to win. And Greg, I don't know Greg like terribly well, but we go way back. He was a guy that I used to watch, on TV when I was starting my journey in like 2003. So to see an old school guy like that make it, I think is really cool, and that's something just special about the main event is you get the new school, you get the old school, you get the young, the old. So it's cool to see Greg there for sure.
One more question, actually. You know, you mentioned the vlog, and we're huh?
I did.
And the one on YouTube.
On YouTube, right? Jeremy Ausmus Poker. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, you know, it's an interesting time where a lot of the content creators in poker, who are, you know, great players in their own right, didn't necessarily start as great players or high stakes players and then go into vlogging. It's a lot of people, I want to be a content creator around poker, so they're not necessarily some of the most elite players in the world. And here we have one of the most elite players in the world starting a vlog. What was the impetus behind that? Why did you decide to go into that street and start doing content?
Yeah, I just started realizing over time, like, kind of building a bigger name can just, you know, get you a sponsorship. Like, look who started getting the sponsorships, you know, Brad Owen, Rampage, people like that. So I started to see, like, it's not just being the best player and anything like that anymore. And Negreanu and Hellmuth have always kind of, you know, teetered between both those. They've always been top-notch players for years and years ago, way back, but they've always worked on growing their brand and who they are. And they've been, you know, some of the most successful people in poker and outside of poker, like poker players outside of poker, though, like sponsorship deals. So part of it was that, just seeing the changing landscape. And personally, I watch like a lot of YouTube, like interviews or just people I follow, you know, like we all do, throw it on in the car, listen to it. And so I just started just kind of, I don't know, just that I just spent a lot of my time there. So I just started thinking like, might be kind of cool to try that, and not a lot of really great poker players have done it, and so I just thought I would try it out and see what happens.
Was it weird filming at the table during WSOP? Did it mess with you at all?
No, like I do it here at Poker Go Studio all the time, so I got my feet wet and got it all figured out. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't affect my play. I do have to kind of distract myself, take notes in between hands, little things like that, but overall, it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool, and one of the coolest things that I didn't realize when I started making it that I would appreciate is just having that diary of my poker journey, right? And that's what it's all about. And to think back, if I could have done something like this when I moved to Vegas in 2005, and I was playing 2-5 at the Palms, and going to Bellagio and playing 2-5, and just if I had a documentation of all that, it'd just be so cool because I've forgotten so much of it. And
then you too could have been Brad Owen, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's for sure.
So there was never a time like at the beginning where you were like, you'd pull the camera out and you would be worried that everyone at the table would be like, God, this douchebag in sandals again. Fucking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because it's not my thing, especially Negreanu style, like getting the camera in people's faces and all loud. Like, obviously that's not me at all. But I've seen people like Brad Owen do it. He does it very, you know, uninvasive to people.
But I get the vibe Brad Owen hates doing. I get the vibe that he's just like, I'm so sorry, everyone, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But it was good to start here because everyone in the studio knows each other so well. And
sure.
Even if random people come in, they quickly become part of the family. And it's just such a nice environment in here. No one... Not only do they not care, they fully support it. Like, a lot of them watch it. They probably want to see what I had in this hand and this hand, or they folded. But it's just been overwhelming support. And, you know, they'll give it shout-outs. They want to be on it. Becker loves it. It's a lot of fun.
The only person who hates it's probably Chris Brewer, since you just dominate him in every blog.
Yeah. I had to put him on his blow-ups.
It was awesome.
But he gave me permission. Because
Okay,
I was kind of like, I don't want to blow him up too bad. But he's like, you can put me on there. I know I'm a psycho, so go ahead. So that was nice of him.
Well, I will say it has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking the time. You mentioned him. I want to get him up here, so we'll swap out with Michael Gagliano. But Jeremy Ausmus, give it up. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, Gags. Yeah, we'll bring Gags up here. WSOP final table is playing for $10 million tomorrow. Michael Gagliano. Thanks for taking. I'll give you this.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
For
I know
sure.
it's a busy time. We had Greg up here. You guys are kind of in the same boat. So I'll ask you the same question.
Sure.
You know, how you feeling right now about all this?
Good. I'm ready to go. It's funny. We finished playing, and I was like just so mentally, physically drained from playing for, 8-9 days, and just like we bagged at like almost midnight, and they were asking me questions. I was like, I can't wait to just like relax tomorrow and just sleep and do nothing. And then I woke up and I was like, I kind of wish we were just playing today. Like, just like, I don't know. I don't want to say this has been like hanging over my head, but it's just like an incomplete tournament. Like, you don't do tournaments like this where you just take a break. Like you're in it, you're locked in, you're thinking about your opponent, you're thinking about the hands you played, and then you just do nothing. And it's like, what happened? Where did we go? Are we done? I guess that's it, So
that's especially why the 3-month thing, the November 9th thing, was so wild. Because I can't imagine. Yeah, I feel like if it's 3 months, then it just becomes like an afterthought almost, or not an afterthought, but maybe it almost dominates your life of just like it's hanging over your head for 3 months. But yeah, I feel like 2 weeks is a good sweet spot.
2 weeks is a weird amount of time because it was too long for me to stay here, but it was too short to like really get comfortable at home or doing anything else. So it was this kind of like, I did this like back and forth. I'm from New Jersey, so it was a lot of travel, and I've been here for like almost a week already. So it's just,
you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I do feel like, we talked about it earlier. I feel like in 2 weeks, you can transform your game completely. 2 weeks, 12 hours a day of coaching. If not you in particular, but other players at the final table could definitely have a completely different strategy coming in now than they would have 2 weeks ago.
It'll be interesting to see if people come out swinging like that. I don't know. I think that would be a pretty bad idea if somebody was trying to do that, because
I don't mean like being super aggressive. I just mean like
no, I'm just saying like change your game a lot.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, it's enough time to like put in hours and learn stuff, but
I can think of a couple of players I've seen play at the final table where I think they should change their game a little bit.
Listen, I won't make any comments, but I don't know. It's only 2 weeks. You're gonna learn something and learn how to execute. And what's the Mike Tyson? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. They're gonna get there, and then.
No, it's true.
You get a weird spot and you don't know what to do because you're playing some new strategy, and all of a sudden everything crumbles. So I don't know.
I feel like if you change your game, if you play a game that got you there and then you were to change it and fail, you would have a lot of regrets.
I would think so. I definitely spent some time thinking about poker. I didn't come in with any ambitions to drastically come up with new strategies or anything. And
I think it gives you a good time to really get to know the players at the table, though. Obviously, you don't want to over-adjust and not do what got you there, but you can go back, and I can't imagine you at any time to watch tape at night or go home and watch the replays of the streams and stuff. So at least it gives you some time to do that, and a time to kind of oh wait, that guy wasn't as crazy as I thought he always had it, or oh, this motherfucker actually.
Yeah, I watched the film from the broadcast and stuff, so that was good. But
all 4 episodes.
Yeah, you don't see a lot where
what happened day 3, 4, and 5?
Even on day 8, when there's only 2 tables, you still miss a fair amount of hands, and you don't always see every hand everyone played. So sometimes it gives you almost a warped perception of this guy's playing really tight. But it's well, no, they just showed 3 hands where he happened to maybe make a little bit of a tight play, and they missed the 3 where he was blasting it in, and that's happened sometimes. So you have to kind of factor all that in. But I more watched it to just get a complete sense of who got there. Are there any plays that I should be come across my radar that they did that I wasn't expecting, and it was fun. It was just a lot of fun just watching the stories of everyone getting there again.
And you're coming in a little different than other people. We talked to Greg, who has been around a long time, and all the players are very experienced, but you've been around for a very long time. Online player primarily is how I knew you, doing online bracelet events in the New Jersey days, and you've been a long-time ambassador for BetMGM Poker. Yeah. So you're coming in as a sponsored pro, whereas I don't think anybody else was, but I feel like you've got experience on your side, if you will.
Yeah, I've been here at different final tables, nothing of this scale, obviously, but just having the experience in the live and online arenas, it is just a poker tournament. We are just going to get 2 cards at the end of the day, and I know Sean Deep took some flack for saying it's just another tournament, but it's not, right? It's something special, and it's something that your odds are you're never going to get here again, and this is your chance to do something. But at the end of the day, we sit down tomorrow. They're going to give us each 2 cards and see what we can do. So that's kind of my approach. I'm just going to see what I get dealt and go from there. And, obviously I have some, general strategies I'm going to try to execute, but we'll see what happens.
So you haven't been doing too many drills or looking up solver?
No, I'd be lying if I said I looked at nothing, but it's funny, before the main started, I went out with a bunch of New Jersey cash game players that I mostly hadn't met before. And, but I played with, every day online. And one of them asked me hey, what would you do if you made the final table, in these 2 weeks? Would you get really good coaching and this? And I told them I would do nothing. I was I would just relax and come in fresh. And mostly what I did, I definitely spent some time, like I said, watching the film and kind of, I'll say like honing some of the edges where I feel like my game maybe just could have used a little brush up. But I certainly didn't do anything like super extensive or anything like that.
Well, you've been on my mind all summer because you made the greatest schedule that has ever been,
I'm glad.
Shout out to Kenny Hollard, who did a schedule forever and ever, but you just blew him out of the water with that.
Absolutely. I made an app. I was calling it Summer Poker Calendar, and it's on iOS and Android. It's completely free if anybody wants to use it next year. But
and the good karma got you the main event final table.
It's funny, after I made the final table, Jamie Kerstetter sent out a tweet and said, "I volunteer to make next year's calendar," which I thought was very fun. It was a lot of fun. I threw it together literally 2 weeks before the series started. I was making my schedule, and I make a spreadsheet every year, and I was just like, I'm sick of looking at what time late reg ends and these structure sheets, and because I was trying to pull everything together, and I was like, let me just make an app, let me just do something. And I didn't have enough planning that went into this, so unfortunately, the website was live, but the apps didn't come out until 2 weeks in. So I think a lot of people didn't even use the apps, but they're great. They're better than the website, and it was just exactly what I wanted. I did what I wanted to see when I'm registering tournaments, when I'm looking for what to play. And I got so much feedback, and I had a bunch of people beta testing the Android app for me because I needed a group to get on the thing. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh my God, good luck in the main. I've been watching you." I'm like, so it's really cool just seeing the support and the transition. And
he's not just a schedule maker, guys.
Well,
he's a poker
so many
player.
people. I played on. I think it was day 3 or 4. We went on break, and it was a kind of a serious table. And this guy came back, and he pulled his hood off, and he goes, "You made the calendar." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh," and we had a lot of fun just chatting and talking about
I've
the calendar.
also won poker tournaments, by the way.
That's all right. I'll take credit for the calendar. That's,
Fair enough.
People have fun with that.
Well, Gags, I do appreciate you. I know you guys are busy. You've got other media. You got the final table coming up. So for you to take time to come chat with us for episode 1000, I certainly appreciate it. And so
Absolutely.
Good luck to you in the coming days.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who chatted. I do want to give a couple of special shout outs here real quick before we wrap up this episode. This is episode 1000, of course, but I've only been doing this for maybe half the episodes, thereabouts. This started, as I said, back in 2010. Want to shout out Matt Parvis, Christy Arnett. They're not here, but they, I believe, were the two who started it, along with Rich Ryan, who is now a producer on the Poker Go podcast. He's been around a very long time. Rich was instrumental in getting it here. Elaine Charvarlis, I'm sure I butchered that, as I tend to do on this. And Jason Somerville. You might not know it, but he was on the PokerNews Podcast for a very long time. That said, there are plenty of former hosts who are here, so I do want to touch base, maybe have you come up here, kind of one at a time, just share a quick memory or story, if you will. And I'm going to start with somebody who carried the ball very far for a very long time, taught me everything I know about podcasting, from editing on GarageBand to where I am now, and that's Miss Sarah Herring.
I gotta give the camera the butt shot.
Here you go. So Sarah and I started with Poker News at the same time in 2010, and then I ended up leaving for a little bit, came back, and at that point, you asked me to be on the podcast. It was with Jeff Platt, I believe, at the time, who's here, and we'll talk with him in just a second. And then, I kind of played third fiddle, and then you ended up leaving, and I was left with this to raise this child by myself.
This is also what happened to me, actually. I think it was Donnie Peters who left Poker News, and then Matt was like, "We need someone to do the podcast, so it should be you." And I was like, perfect, it should not be me. I don't even know what I'm doing. But it lasted a long time, and we figured out many things along the way.
We're still going. I mean,
yeah, 1,000. I was like, what were the numbers when I was doing it?
I remember
300?
I was a guest on the Poker News podcast. I was so excited, and you guys did the interview. You did the interview for me, and then the numbers were 300. That's generous. It's generous. No, that's generous. I was like, oh shit. Oh, 73. Fuck.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it was like It's funny when I think how this has become sort of a big part of my career or my time in the space, and I don't think it was ever a skill really of mine or a place where I belonged, but I think I always was lucky and fortunate to have a lot of really great and talented people around me to lift me up.
Well, you mentioned him. Let's bring Donnie up here and swap you out. I want to do a photo with all of us at the end here, but thank you, Sarah. Give it up for Sarah. So Donnie is currently with PokerGo. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. My old boss at PokerNews for a very long time, and now hosts the PokerGo podcast. Check them out if you haven't. It's very good. I listened every day this summer. But DP, thank you for taking the time, my friend. Thanks for helping make this happen.
Thank you for having me up here. It's a pleasure.
In more ways than one. Like, you probably did 500-ish of the episodes. I mean, in the hundreds for sure. Used to do this every day from the hallway during the WSOP with Remko, who's back there, with Jason Somerville, who I mentioned, and in Rich Ryan, working with him, who you still do. Like, really, it wouldn't be even close to where it is without you guys.
Well, thank you. I know for sure, I just confirmed right before I came up here, looked on my social media. I definitely did episode 400 with Remko in my apartment, held up a sign. We had the Vegas visors on. I don't know if I made it through 500, but yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from you. I listened to your show and pick up tips, and I feel like you and I felt the same way, because you've mentioned it before in your show. Like, when I started podcasting, I didn't think I was very good at it, and there's still times I don't. But I've learned along the way. You pick up tips and tricks, and you slowly build an audience, and you realize, oh, maybe I do have a little knack for this.
Well, who's good at anything when they first start?
True.
Probably no one, right? I mean, Sarah said it. I also had no idea what the hell I was doing when I got on a podcast. You're worried about what you're going to say. You possibly listen back. You hate the way that you sound. It's a disaster from the start. But then it just becomes second nature. And now I say it on the show all the time. I know you know, but the podcast is my favorite thing to do in the industry. It has become that. I never would have thought that it got to be that way when I first started. But without the podcast, I would feel almost empty in a weird way. But I absolutely love it. It's a dream to be able to do it. It really is.
You should be very proud of having the second best podcast in the poker space.
Wow. That's okay.
All right, Donnie.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for helping get the PokerNews podcast, this far. I do want to, I'll probably come out to the studio in a second and touch base with everybody, but one last person I want to get up here, because the current iteration wouldn't be this way, and that's Kyna England. Kyna, please come on up. Thanks, DP. So for those who don't know, when I started this current iteration with the help of Yori, the new video format, episode 819, Mike and Kyna and myself kicked this thing off. So there you are. Also star of Game of Gold, if you've seen the show.
Oh man, weird to be back.
So take me back when I asked you, because for those that don't know, Kyna and I go back to the Midwest. She's from the Chicago area. I'm from Wisconsin. She's MSPT Player of the Year. I used to work for the MSPT, and just thought, she would be good for kicking off the show, and you said yes.
I mean, we have a good relationship. We're such good friends. I like Mike. We got along. It felt like I'm just hanging out with my brothers or something. You know what I mean? We had a good rapport. I honestly really enjoyed doing it. It was a great time. Man, this is a lot different. I'm a little nervous.
And then we transitioned. We do have another show. I don't know what the status of it is right now. We've gone on summer break, but the MSPT podcast. Yeah. So you can tune into that one and watch past episodes. But it's a lot of fun, because you and I both are near and dear to the MSPT.
Yeah, MSPT podcast is actually really great, because I think the people that watch it really appreciate it. We're really focusing on this, segment of the industry, and it's specific. It's smaller time, smaller tournaments, but it's really fun to get recognized. I remember when I was coming up, and you just get mentioned, or oh, you're in this PokerNews write-up. It's so cool, and I feel like that's what this podcast capitalized on, and people really appreciate that. You want to be recognized for your accomplishments, and then you work your way up, and you just don't get to see yourself as much in the big stream media. So I really hope we get to do it again. It was really fun time. It is a really fun time.
Is it just called the Josh Reichard podcast?
Josh is a reoccurring character on that podcast.
He literally just won
and he said he never would come on it either, which was even ruder,
Yeah. Well, Kyna, I appreciate it, and I look forward. We'll do more episodes for sure. Give a round of applause to Kyna, please.
Thank you, guys.
You boys sit tight. I want to go, if Adam can get the camera really quick, I'll do this whole Jeff Platt thing and go out into the audience and come to them. Just a real quick shout out to, I'm going to kind of go down the line as I see them. Mr. Jesse Fullen, a good friend of mine, was a co-host on the PokerNews Podcast and the short-lived Chad and Jesse Poker Show.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Chad had to go do some of his reality game show experiences he always goes every summer. Then I had to find a great replacement, but we didn't have a marketing budget to change the logo. So I brought in Norman Chad and just put Norman above Chad's name. It was a great time. Chad's a great fill-in after Norman left, of course, but it was a great time. And I always have fond memories of the podcast.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Thanks for coming. And likewise, very short-lived, but Matt Hansen, you were on there for a handful of episodes. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Oh, a lot more than a handful, Chad. We were on there for a while. It was almost like a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed. This is awesome. Like, you've come a long way. I remember, like, your idea of, like, a remote, like, it was me, you, and Connor, and we were just passing the mic back and forth.
That's
right. Like, I asked him if he had a mixer. He was like, oh, what? But this is awesome. This is terrific. And I'm really proud of you, Chad. And to another 1,000, right?
Yeah. Cheers to that. He wasn't on the show, but a shout out to my first ever boss in poker, Lance Bradley here. Remko was on the show, episode 400. Donnie mentioned it, but you did quite a few episodes back in the day.
Yeah, and it's cool because when you and Ben texted me ferociously to come here, I thought I was a big part of the show, but that's okay. No, it made me think back of all the fun we had in the hallway, like you mentioned, me, Jason Somerville, and Donnie doing daily shows. And actually, it sounds crazy, but I kind of forgot about how many shows we did. And we were live on Twitch on Jason's channel, and we had guests every single morning. Jason was there at 11 a.m. sharp. We did the show. He jumped straight into some 10K tournament while we hit the live reporting grind. And I want to say we did for 2 or 3 years, and some of my best and most fun memories of being in poker. And I'm so glad you carried this on.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Jeff Platt, why don't you stand up for me? Jeff, it was you, me, and Sarah for a while. There's some good photos. Some could say you got your start in poker through the PokerNews podcast. I don't know if you'd say that, but I'm going to say it. But no, I'm just joking. But it was a big part for a while there.
Yeah, I absolutely would say that. Somebody was asking me actually the other week, what's the most nervous you've been? And all these moments that I've been really fortunate to have throughout the course of a very fortunate career. And it was that first episode that I taped with Sarah Herring, who I have looked up to and still look up to. And we were interviewing just some poker couple who travels and rates poker rooms on the East Coast or something like that. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I was so incredibly nervous for that, but that got me started in being able to work with Sarah and work with you and seeing what this has developed now with two good friends over there. Mike, you can't criticize me or the WSOP this way.
I can't, but
nope, can't hear you.
What I can say is that the last time we were in the Poker Go Studios here for the GPI Awards, you made sure to call us out and say, oh, wow, you guys were nominated, but you didn't win. Ha, ha, ha. So just saying that now, fuck you, Jeff Platt. And thank you for sitting in the audience for our podcast.
That's a pretty fitting response from Mike. But like everybody has said, congratulations on an incredible accomplishment. Really cool.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, and good luck at the final table. I know you're working, but you know what? I'll go on the other side here. A couple of shout out. Connor Richards, a good friend of mine, still with Poker News. You've hosted some episodes. You had your own show, Life Outside Poker, for a little while. Any memories from the Poker News? He's going to be on future episodes, by the way. He's your emergency backup.
Yeah, I'm the emergency backup. No, lots of good memories, Chad. I'll echo what Matt said, because when we first started, I mean, there were times where I'd be at EPT Barcelona and I'd, go in a hallway to turn on my webcam to film this thing. So seeing how far it's come is really cool. Probably my favorite memory is a couple months ago when we were sitting in Level 9 Studios and we got a text alert from somebody that the Lodge card room had been raided. And we were about to start filming. We had about 2 minutes before we started filming. And so kind of in real time, we were doing journalism and trying to research and trying to not say something that we didn't know for sure. And so that was a good memory, but it's cool to see what you've done with this, Chad, for sure.
Thanks, Connor. I want to thank, there's some other people in the audience who have filled in many episodes. Oh, Brent, I want to give Brent a shout out. He came over here. Brent is one of my favorite co-hosts of the Poker News Podcast because you really have to dig for those episodes. Yeah. I mean that politely, but Sarah brought you on board for a stint there.
Yeah, that's true. I was excited when you said Matt was short-lived. I thought I was the shortest. It sounds like I still am. So that's very exciting. I also have a vlog. It's called Jeremy Ausmus Vlog on YouTube. I look a lot like Jeremy Ausmus in that one. But Sarah also, I told her this was fun. I got fired from the podcast, and I got replaced by Jeff Platt. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Poker. I'm sorry, Mike.
Thanks, Brent. And thank you to those in the audience who have subbed in, guest hosted many episodes. Appreciate that. Before I wrap this up, I want to give I'll give you guys a second to do some final words for episode 1002, but I want to give a special shout out to somebody in the audience. watching for the first time for me, and that is my mom, Pam Holloway, down at the end. I've been in this industry a very long time, and she's never seen me do anything like this in person, and so it means a lot. So yeah, thank you, Mom. My mom went through cancer. She's in remission, a complete response. And so I said, let's go to Vegas and have a little trip. So I love you very much, and I'm glad you're here. Mike, Ben, let's put a pin in episode 1,000. We've got 1,000 more coming up. We'll do episode 1,001 later this week. The WSOP main event final table. We'll have a winner. We'll have the winner interviews, etc. But last words before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Donnie Peters, who gave me my first job in poker in 2011 when I was just a live reporter for the summer. And it's crazy to see that everyone I worked with is still here in this room. I think that was Sarah Herring's first year. Jeff Platt, we met that summer through a mutual friend. Donnie, Remko, Chad, everyone. It's cool to see how long you guys have been in this, and shows how much you love the game and love this industry. And I think, it's a small group of people who are kind of actually on the behind the scenes of this industry, but everyone is so incredible at what they do and has been here for such a long time. And we're really lucky. I think people don't really realize how good we have it in terms of the talented media people behind the scenes. So shout out to all of you, and thank you to all. Poker News has been, a part of my poker life for my whole poker life. So really appreciate it, yeah.
So this is crazy. I can't believe that. I would have never guessed when I moved to Vegas that 7, 8 years, 9 years, I smoke a lot of weed, I'm not sure how long, I would be sitting here in front of all you guys enjoying the PokerNews podcast. I mean, I grew up watching you guys. I grew up watching reading the Jeff, you screwed me up, reading the reports and everything. So to be, the face of this with you guys, it's so cool. And thank you guys all for coming out. This is so awesome. I can't describe in words how cool this is.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to thank, keep it rolling just real quick. I want to thank, there's some people behind the scenes at Poker News for which this would not be possible. I've already mentioned Yori's in the audience. Thank you. Adam, Scott from Level 9 Studio, very instrumental on a weekly basis, but so are Milko Van Weeden, Matthew Lithgow-Thomas, MLT as he is known, Elliot Johnson, and Jordan Ryan. Mark Paul Bevan, special thank you for believing in this, and just thank you. It's a team effort, so I really do appreciate it. So that is going to do it for episode 1000 of the Poker News Podcast. We're not done yet. We're going into the quadruple digits, I guess. Episode 1001 will be on Thursday. We're back to one a week, 8 a.m. Pacific time. And as I always say, until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.